Believe it or not, I've had a few people tell me that they actually like word problems. It isn't many, but I've actually had a few people. So, the key with word problems is draw it, write down formulas that are giving or that it gives, or formulas that it may imply, and also write what it tells you. Okay? Oh, the length of a rectangle. Rectangle tells you a shape. Draw the shape. Says the length. Length is usually the side that lays down. Now, 2 meters smaller. Smaller means minus, so minus 2. And it usually goes after 3 times the width. So 3 times the width. Well, it's using the width to describe it. So we're going to always call the width x. Perimeter is the distance around. So perimeter P is 52. Now, perimeter is this distance and this distance. Well, if this distance is 3x minus 2, this one is 2. Well, guess what? That and that is also part of the perimeter. This one is x, which means this one is also x. So perimeter is the distance all the way around. So what I do is I say 3x minus 2 plus 3x minus 2 plus 1x. X is the same thing as 1x plus 1x. Add all of those up. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8. Keep the x. If I owe 2 and I borrow 2 more, I still owe, and I owe 4. And I let that whole thing equal the perimeter. So now I'm going to come up here. So remember the opposite of the order of operations. So parentheses or exponents, multiply or divide, add or subtract, going up the order. So get rid of minus by doing the opposite. So that gives me 8x's equal 56. Now, the opposite of times, because remember 8 hugged up to an x means times. The opposite of times is to divide both sides. So x is 7. That means the width. is 7. Now, did I do what it asked me to do? Yes, I did. I found the width. The width was X, so I'm done. Yay! A garden is in the shape of a square. That's sort of a square. With a perimeter of 40. Well, I know a square is the exact same on all 4 sides. Well, that means 40 divided by 4, that gives us 10 on all of these. The garden is surrounded by 2 fences. One fence is around the perimeter of the garden, whereas the second fence is 2 feet away from the first fence. In other words, watch this. 2 feet, 2 feet, 10 feet. Two feet, 2 feet, 10 feet. Do you see what I'm doing? Blah, blah, blah. So the larger fence is actually 14 feet. Now, I'm actually going to go back to this 40. But I know that this is 14 and this is 14, and so I've got 4 of those. So when I take 14 times 4, not 14 times 4, that gives me 56. And I'm going to add, because I've got this fence, this blue fence, that's 56 feet around, and I've got this green fence that's 40 feet around. So altogether, I've got 96 feet of fencing. Now I'm going to finish reading my problem. If the material used to build the 2 fences is $1.24 per foot, what was the cost of both fences? So I times that by $1.24. Of course, this problem was written a long time ago because 2x4s are not $1.24 a foot anymore. So when I multiply that with my handy dandy Mr. Goodbuddy calculator, I get $119.04. Number next. Now, again, draw it. Drawing is so very important. 17-foot ladder leaning against a building. So here's my building. Here's my 17-foot ladder. The base of the ladder is 8 feet away from the side of the building. How high does the ladder reach up? Okay. Well, this is a right triangle which uses what's called the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. C squared, c is always the hypotenuse, the longest side. So x squared plus 8 squared equals 17 squared. And I would suggest using Desmos. Okay? Because that would be the nicest way of doing it. And when you do, you get x equals 15. Now, if you don't use Desmos, then what you get is x squared plus 64 equals 289 minus 64 and on your factoring handout 225 is for 15. Now, honestly, it really is both plus and minus 15. The issue is distance is not negative. So we throw the negative answer away. The lengths of two sides of a right triangle are given by 3 consecutive integers. Now, this problem, you're either going to get 3 consecutive even, or 3 consecutive odd. So let me do some explanation. If it's 3 consecutive, you'll get one set of, of problems to work with. Consecutive even or consecutive odd is the same situation. Okay? So, your first number, whether it's even or odd, will change depending on which one it is. But how you work it will be the same. So if it says consecutive, let's say you're starting with X, then if I add 1, I'm going to get 2. If I add 2, I'm going to get 3. If I add 3, I'm going to get 4. If I add 4, I'm going to get 5. Okay? So, if it says 3 consecutive integers, 1, 2, and 3 would be consecutive. So your 3 numbers would be x, x plus 1, x plus 2. But let's say it says 3 consecutive odd integers. Well, that would be 1, 3, and 5. Okay? 1, 3, and 5 would be x, x plus 2, x plus 4. Well, guess what? If, perchance, I started with 2 being my x, to get to the next even number, I would have to add 2. And to get to the next even number, I would have had to have added 2 more, which would have made that 4. X, x plus 2, x plus 4. So it wouldn't, so whether you've got consecutive even or consecutive odd, the 3 sets of numbers would be the exact same. So 3 consecutive numbers are x, x plus 1, and x plus 2. But consecutive even or consecutive odd would be x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. So, and this one is nasty, and it's best to use Desmos with this one. Okay? I promise you. Desmos is so user-friendly with this one. But 3 consecutive integers, and this is a right triangle, so you've got to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared again. Well, there's our biggest one, or our longest one. So we get x squared plus, and this one's nasty. I just be telling you, equals x plus 2 squared. throw that into Desmond